Across Australia, the wheels of industry turn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These machines are tough, and the teams of people running them are even tougher. But what happens when these massive machines break down?
That's the fun bit.
Teams of Aussie mechanics, engineers, fitters and boilermakers step up to battle against tight deadlines in some of the harshest working environments on the planet.
These are the optimum working conditions.
From deep underground, on the water, on the front line, to high in the sky, they do the vital repair work to keep these heavy metal wonders alive.
Planned out well, turned out better.
This is Mega Mechanics. This time on Mega Mechanics. In the middle of a training exercise, Army mechanics need to stop everything and overhaul a tank. And this operation must be carried out with military precision.
We could probably get the tank engine out and put it on the floor within 20 minutes, but the maintenance part in the middle is what takes the time.
The tank might be blast-proof, but can its engine survive these aerial manoeuvres?
That 4.5 ton power pack there, when it starts moving, there's not a lot's going to stop it. Stop!
It's far from smooth sailing for this Brisbane tug as a malfunctioning propeller forces her out of the water.
Instantly thousands of dollars. Really, we need to get to the bottom of it and turn it around as quick as we can.
And pinpointing the cause of the prop's problem is more difficult than expected.
I don't want to see more damage, but all the signs were telling me that it was coming from here, so it's a hard one.
To find the flaw has left this team of technicians with a sinking feeling.
There's a problem there, just got to find it.
And there's a major problem at the Jindabyne pumping station in the Snowy Hydro scheme as the maintenance team are under the pump to find the fault.
They're relying on us to get this back into service this afternoon.
If they don't get the pump back up and working, the flow-on effect could be catastrophic.
We'll go our hardest.
They've been over in Australia for 14 years now. They've had 14 years hard labour and they're still going.
Apart from having a really big gun on it, you know, that's obviously a dead giveaway. But I suppose it's just the complexities of it.
I absolutely love it, to be honest. Yeah, it's a great job. It's good to get paid to hang out with your mates and shoot big bombs.
Australia's stalwart of frontline fighting is being put through its paces at Shoalwater Bay in Central Queensland.
This is the M1A1 main battle tank in use with the Australian Army at the moment. It's got a 120mm smoothbore cannon, capable of seeking targets somewhere between 3 and 4 kilometres.
Apart from its serious firepower, this 67-ton tank has some impressive grunt on the ground, reaching speeds of up to 60 kilometres an hour.
The engine itself is jet turbine engine, as used in the helicopters, but configured for this vehicle. Its power is down-rated because the amount of power that it can produce would rip the tracks off the tank.
3 of the M1A1 Abrams tanks are here amongst a fleet of armoured vehicles. It's all part of Operation Diamond Catalyst, a chance for the 2nd 14th Light Horse Regiment to shine in extreme conditions.
These guys need their tanks and their equipment for training.
And wherever the action is, the mechanics from C Squadron are somewhere close by.
It's not just tanks that we look at. We're responsible for all the equipment in the squadron. You know, the guns, the personal weapons, the generators. We're responsible for the serviceability of all those. So obviously without us, they wouldn't be rolling around in these, they wouldn't have generators, they wouldn't have weapons that were serviceable.
Warrant Officer Terry Lemon comes well equipped to handle any problems in the field.
I've been with tanks now for 37 years in various armies, and I thoroughly enjoy large armoured pieces.
His team of mechanics and tradies is always on standby to do running repairs whenever the regiment is operational.
These boys run around doing all their troop training during the day, and then they pull up at 5, 6 o'clock at night and go, hey, it's broken. So that's when we start working.
But today, they won't need to work by torchlight.
Today we've got a tank up here that was running a little bit rough, so we brought it in.
To diagnose the problem, the expert team needs to take the engine out of the tank. Armoured steel plating will first be removed to gain access. After all cables and attachments are disconnected, a 63-tonne Hercules mobile crane will lift the 4-tonne power pack clear of the armoured vehicle and lay it on the ground. Mechanics need to conduct a series of diagnostic checks, which includes running the engine outside the tank. Once it passes all the tests, the unit will be lifted back in and taken for a drive to ensure it's functioning as required. The tank must be back in operation within 2 hours, or carefully planned manoeuvres will be thrown into chaos.
We could probably get the tank engine out and put it on the floor within 20 minutes, and putting it back in maybe a little bit longer, maybe 30, 40 minutes to put it back in. But the maintenance part in the middle is what takes the time.
And with the tank out of action in the middle of an exercise, time is something Terry and his team don't have.
If people aren't 100% careful, they could get hit by it or damage the pack.
They're very nice boats. Well made, very expensive, millions of dollars. And they let me drive it. They must be crazy.
Tugboats are the workhorses of the maritime world. Powerful, sturdy platforms built for strength rather than stealth or speed. And the Lorry M, a 225-tonne Shoalbuster 2609 tugboat, is no exception. She's part of a fleet of 40 vessels and barges owned by Bhagwan Marine in Brisbane.
Quite a versatile vessel, so you can use her as a normal towing tug, you can use her for anchor handling. Also, we've got an A-frame on the back, so we actually use this vessel for bed levelling operations as well.
But for the moment, she's going nowhere fast. A propeller problem is creating some concerning consequences.
We're getting excessive vibration in the stern of the vessel. Now from that, fuel burn was through the roof. The load on the engine was also accelerated by about 30–40%, and our exhaust temperatures were skyrocketing too.
The team from RL Marine has been given the job of finding the fault and fixing it fast. But first, the tug needs to get to their base at the yard on the Brisbane River. There, it will enter a narrow dock where a 600-tonne travel lift will raise it out of the water and transport it onto dry ground. Once the troublesome propeller is exposed, the team will run a series of diagnostic tests on the stern of the tug. If they fail to find the fault this way, the hydraulics will need to be disconnected inside the vessel so the rudder can be removed, allowing the prop to be taken away for a more detailed examination. They plan to have the Lorry M back in the water tomorrow.
It's an expensive exercise that nobody really wants to go through, you know, like, to do that, you're talking instantly thousands of dollars. Really, we need to get to the bottom of it and turn it around as quick as we can.
Apart from the expense of the lift out, every day the tug is out of action is costing the owners a potential $13,000 in earnings. But this critical job can't be put off any longer.
We want to get there, you know, before it creates major traumas with our shaft and gearbox, really.
To maximise their chance of getting their boat back in on time, Bhagwan Marine has paid for exclusive access to the largest lift on site.
Still got a fair bit of fuel on board, fresh water. So what we have done is locked out the 600-tonne travel lift. They're going to keep us in the soft slings overnight. Hopefully we turn around and come back tomorrow. They should be ready for us. He confirmed 1,300 for me. So it should be, hopefully they got slings in the water and we just drive them straight in, mate.
The tug's design might be more functional than fancy, but she's still worth around $8 million.
Hello? All right, no worries, buddy. Coming in now.
How far in do they want us? Once we get in there, they usually throw lines over and they can sort of guide us, put the stern where they want us, put the bow where they want it.
Slowly getting set off to starboard there, mate, but all good, coming in nicely.
How much room we got there? How much space we got down there? All good?
It's an anxious time for engineer Dan and skipper Jed, who have relinquished control of the tug to the yard crew.
We've got to be in the centre of the slipway here, so these slings can go under the centre of the vessel so it doesn't tip once we start taking weight on the slings. So I'm just sort of seeing If it's even on that side and the ship's parallel to the walkway.
And all this means the stress is about to go up as this multi-million-dollar 225-ton vessel becomes airborne.
Let's do it.
The Snowy Hydro scheme is Australia's most ambitious engineering feat. Deep in the Kosciuszko National Park, this billion-dollar project diverts water from the Snowy Mountains through a complex system of dams, tunnels and power stations to produce 2/3 of the country's renewable energy. And at the heart of it all is this vital station.
Jindabyne pumping station is the only sole pumping station we have in the system. It pumps water from Jindabyne and it catches it from all the Snowy Mountains down the Snowy River and feeds it over to the Murray River to feed the food bowl of Australia.
This so-called food bowl is an area of rural New South Wales and Victoria that produces 1/3 of the country's agriculture. A constant water supply is essential to keep the region fertile. So when something goes wrong at the pumping station, the flow-on effect can be catastrophic to the abundant farming communities it supplies.
This morning when we turned up, we heard a large water gushing noise. We could tell it was from our service valve or discharge valve, and also figured out that the pump wouldn't start because of that.
This has now become a major problem for the maintenance team. Under the guidance of Matt, technicians Justin and Bob need to find the cause and fix it fast.
We're going to have a look at this noise we got down there. Do you and Bob want to go have a quick squiz at it? And confined space gear, Darcy, if you can, please. And I'll go get an outage organised and isolation.
To discover what's caused this important piece of equipment to fail, they must first isolate the unit from the high-pressure water supply. A team member will then need to go inside the narrow, powerful pump. They'll gain access by removing a secured manhole cover, and once they're in a safety harness, lower themselves into the dark, confined space. Then it's a matter of locating the failed valve and clearing whatever's blocking it. All going well, the whole operation should be complete within 5 hours.
We generally do inspections every couple of years inside that pump. Obviously this was a break-in, so that makes it a bit harder to get everything together straight away and quick and under a little bit of pressure, yeah.
The pumping station plays an important role in the provision of backup power in the region. So Snowy Hydro wants its pump operational again as a matter of urgency. Monitoring the situation is the Snowy Hydro scheme's General Operations team at the Control Centre, also based in Jindabyne.
We spend a lot of our day communicating with all of the different plants. It's really important that we understand the state of those plants so that we can meet our generation needs.
Michael's team will be in constant contact with Matt and his team at the pumping station. If things don't go to plan though, the control room will be ready.
One of the things that we spend a lot of time on is scheduling the outages in the right spot to make sure that we'll have the appropriate generation that we need at the right times. Like if we do have plant failures where something unexpected is broken, so that we may go and reshuffle our forward outage plan.
But that's the last thing Matt and his team want to happen.
It's going to take us a fair few hours, yeah, probably 5 hours.
They want to get this pump back online today.
We'll go our hardest. See ya.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Big gun.
The barrel is pointing to the 9 o'clock position, which is the direction gives you enough space to pull the pack out. On.
The maintenance crew from the 2nd 14th Light Horse Regiment has a temperamental tank to contend with in the middle of a training exercise near Rockhampton in Central Queensland.
Right. You hold that. Yep, good. Move on to the next one. We've undone the bolts for the back deck. They're going to then lift the back deck off, and then we're going to disconnect all the QDs in the engine bay and the umbilicals. That'll have the engine ready to be pulled out.
The QDs, or quick disconnects, are the lifelines of the engine. Hoses that deliver essential supplies such as fuel and oil. And they must be disconnected so the power pack can be removed from the tank.
It's actually reasonably easy to be able to disconnect all this sort of stuff. Everything's very much push pins, pull it out. The same as our umbilical cords here. It's just a easy connection. You undo it, it comes off.
The maintenance crew needs to find the reason the tank is running a bit rough.
Pull down, bro.
The engine in the M1A1 is extremely versatile. It's capable of operating using a variety of fuels.
At the moment, the Australians run this on diesel. The Americans run it on aviation fuel. So anywhere between the two with a few minor adjustments, it could probably run on anything that you want to put in it.
I'll come down and start undoing the hydraulics.
Yeah, good.
This 63-ton beast of a machine is built to withstand bomb blasts in battle. But it can still succumb to the simplest of threats.
The ingress of foreign objects that get in there, and they don't do well in a jet turbine engine, as you could probably imagine.
Topside, the engine has been disconnected from the tank.
And after this, all we got to do that's left should be just release the former drives. We should be sweet.
Underneath, the transmission still needs to be separated from the wheels.
Oh, far out. That's tight.
There we go. Any more that you need to crack? We're good, bro. We're good.
It's vital they release a series of clamps known as saddle caps that sit on the transmission shaft.
If they're not undone correctly, then the whole transmission will stick inside the hole. And instead of having a power pack sort of lift freely and bring it out, the back of the tank will start to lift, and then we can have damages to the saddle caps and the saddle cap bolts.
You probably even slip those front ones back a bit if you want.
The crew from the $8 million, 26-metre-long Lorry M is preparing to lift their tug out of the water in Brisbane for some urgent repairs.
225 dry, so fluids on board. We're probably looking close to around 300 tonne.
With a boat this size and of this value, it's vital the lifting slings are positioned perfectly.
She slopes down in the nose a bit, but then right from probably about here, she really starts to belly out and go flat. She'll taper up quite quick down towards there. Sorry, you bring your front sling probably down here.
And there's certain areas where they can lift, whether it's been reinforced or the areas where there's no transducers or underwater equipment.
He's happy where the front arrangement is, so he's going to take some pressure on that. He'll slip us forward until the back ones are in his proper alignment, and then he'll lift them up, and then we should be pretty well good. These guys deal with thousands of dockings in a year, you know. It's not easy, but they do make it look easy, that's for sure. You're just going to slip the back ones back a bit. Nice. Thanks, Willie.
Yeah, I've had a look, but maybe you just go down and make sure you're happy.
They'll start to take the lift and just make sure that the sling orientation is correct underneath the hull.
A test lift has shown the boat is balanced properly.
We're finally coming up. It looks like they've got the sling orientation pretty good now.
So all that's left to do is for the Lorry M crew to abandon ship as it heads for the yard.
Am I okay to have a look now?
Yeah.
After weeks of waiting to see what's wrong with the propeller, Engineer Dan is eager to get a close look.
Not a lot though, man. Bit on there.
But on first inspection, there's nothing obvious to suggest why the vessel is vibrating when it's underway.
Expected to see it definitely a little bit more than what I'm seeing, but
There's no sign of rope or wire. Axis looks good.
I don't want to see more damage, but this is all the signs were telling me that it was coming from here, so it's a hard one.
So basically, we just got to go through all the stages of trying to eliminate the problem, checking bearing tolerances, checking the tracking of each blade.
Mechanic Kieran and his team from RL Marine have joined the search to solve the mystery of the malfunctioning prop.
That's half a mil of clearance on the shaft that size. Not horrible, and the way she's spinning, she's free as.
But every test is coming back clear.
We'll just see if we can get a dial on it. Thought it grasping at straws.
Man, what are we missing?
Yeah, no, it's running true, Dan.
I'm at a loss, I really am.
With no clear sign of a cause, the crew has only one costly option remaining.
I think, personally myself, I still think it's in our best interest to probably pull the blade.
scan it, rebalance it. I guess we're ticking all that off the list, and then it's kind of back to the drawing board if the problem don't go away.
It's going to take us a fair few hours, yeah, probably 5 hours to get in and get it sorted, and we'll go our hardest. We'll catch you soon. Bye.
All is not going to plan today at the Jindabyne pumping station in the Snowy Hydro scheme.
We come in expecting it just to be a typical day where, we do some preventative maintenance, but we heard an unusual noise and we had to go and investigate.
That noise indicated a failure of one of the station's 2 pumps, and it's vital it's back online before demand for electricity increases at the end of the day. The pump with a problem is a massive 31.3 megawatt unit, capable of producing almost 12.7 cubic metres of water per second. With that sort of pressure in play, it's crucial the pump is isolated from the water supply before a team member goes inside.
We definitely watch each other's back when we're going into holes like that. You're sending a mate into an area that's a bit dangerous, so you've got to take care of him.
It's a multi-step process to shut down the flow. And along the way, every control needs to be isolated and locked with a tag to prevent a potential incident.
Hey Bob, can you give us a hand with the DV locking pin, please, mate?
Yep.
We've finished the isolation, so we're up to this.
All right.
Have you got the tools ready?
Yeah, we're good to go. Let's get into it.
All right, now you can put the maintenance seal on to see if Matt's around.
Yep.
With all external systems now isolated, the last step to emptying the pump is to ensure the maintenance seal is watertight.
So you're just doing a couple of turns each time, Matt?
Yeah, just as soon as it takes up, goes hard, just stop there.
I don't know what's going on. Might be some debris with legs pretty low, so could be just some bit of bark and leaves and sticks.
The winter dry season is having an impact on the already drought-affected region, causing water levels to drop in the catchment area.
We're actually at about 14% at the moment, the water level in the dam. So we're getting a lot of debris coming through the channel and feeding into the pumps. We may see this for the next month. We're actually increasing our cycles of cleaning the filters. It's gone from 2 monthly to weekly.
What's caused the valve to malfunction this time is still a mystery. With only hours to go until this pump needs to be up and running again, the team is very concerned about what they may uncover.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's something stuck in there and not ruined, Abby.
I'm going to go around, make sure all the saddle caps have been disconnected. These are good.
A maintenance crew is doing a final check to ensure nothing's been missed in their mission to disconnect a rough-running engine from a tank.
Yeah, we're good down here.
Oh, yeah, with everything underneath?
Yeah, so I'm going to get the 88 in here.
The M88A is also known as a Hercules, a heavy equipment recovery combat utility lift and evacuation system, or crane in civilian speak. And it's definitely built for strength, not stealth.
So if the tank was to get bogged into a marsh or something along those lines, what they would do, the blade on the front is an anchor blade. They will put that down, run the winch rope out, and they could pull the equivalent of 70 tons straight out. The vehicle itself has a large crane on it, which is capable of lifting up to about 30 tons. So anything that we need to pull out of the tank, we can lift out with this.
Part of the tank's armour must be removed first to allow the engine to lift out.
Hey, Jack, once this comes up, hop down and jump on the other side so we can manoeuvre the top deck.
Put weight on this end. Right, on the deck.
The first lift has been a success, but the stakes are much higher on the next one.
It's essentially you have the engine itself, then you have your transmission, and when they're both set together, we call it a power pack.
The combined weight in this next lift is at least 4 tons.
If people aren't 100% careful, they could get hit by it or damage the pack. People we can replace. The power pack parts sometimes are a little bit more difficult to get hold of.
Yeah, so boom up now. You can come straight up if you want.
Yeah, you're completely clear.
Yeah. They've done quite well. It's come out reasonably. It hasn't caught on anything, you can see. The only problem they've got now is they've got to move that back about at least, I would say, 15 feet. Now, at the moment, that engine is only supported by the crane, so they've got to put a rope on it. They call it dogging. When you see most loads get lifted by crane, there's somebody hanging on a rope, getting dragged around like a loony. Well, that's what they've got to do now, because the uptake of that vehicle going backwards can sometimes be a little bit juddery, and that 4.5 ton power pack there, when it starts moving, there's not a lot's going to stop it.
Stop! Bit of a sleepless night, you know. When you're a bit passionate about this stuff and things don't turn out quite the way you expect with it, it's, how do you put it, you don't switch off, you know.
Dan is feeling the pressure after failing to find a quick fix to a prop problem on the Lorry M tugboat. Initial tests yesterday couldn't diagnose the issue. To investigate further, they'll need to remove the troublesome part. And that process will be far from simple.
To get the propeller out, we need to drop this whole rudder. So we need to undo all these bolts and get the jump collar undone. So then we can go up inside, start doing everything inside, and then we'll be able to lift the rudder out, and then we'll have free rein access to the propeller.
It could take hours just to prepare a path to the prop. Any hope of getting the boat back on the water today has disappeared.
Even though the rudder is obviously a part of the steering, there is a couple of benefacting parts that could be the reason for vibration. So I think what we're just going to have to do is just really inspect everything in detail and make sure we don't have any slop in the bolts, everything's tight, because basically we just really want to get to the end of the problem. I think we'll go for the bigger hammer approach. There's no real in-between with hammers. It goes from small to really big.
A heavy-handed approach is called for on a ship this size.
It's nearly there, Ruben. We're just about flush, mate.
A final push is all that's required to complete phase 1 of the removal.
That's it. Sensation. What we need to do is actually lift the rudder up, and to do that we need to disconnect all the steering gear up inside, otherwise, because we don't want to bend anything or cause any damage inside. This is the steering flat. This is where all the hydraulics and everything turn, all the tiller, which turns the rudder and everything downstairs. Just a big Meccano set, nuts and bolts, swing some spanners, and yeah, we'll be ready to drop the whole rudder out. Ready? Yeah.
This part of the ship might play a pivotal role in the direction it takes, but there's not a lot of room to move for the mechanics.
What we can do is gonna do a bit of acrobatics, a bit of bilge yoga. And just try and crawl in the back here and see what we've got on the back side of this ram. We might be able to leave that connected.
And it's becoming obvious nothing about this job is destined to be easy.
It's gonna be a fight till the end to get the pin out of that side of the ram. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day which side it's just disconnected from, as long as it's free to sort of go up without putting any strain on anything. So just like that, come out. You got to be good friends in this industry, eh?
Back on the outside, the scale of the task ahead is just sinking in. The combined force of a sledgehammer and 10-kilogram spanner is needed to loosen the 30-kilo nut securing the prop.
Lovely. Beautiful. Now that everything's undone up inside, we get the forklift here and we go in and we just try and find a spot that we can get a grab on it, smoothly drive the rudder out, and then we'll be able to get the prop off.
The rudder is a ton of solid steel and could cause some serious damage to itself and those around it if not handled carefully.
You've got all your safeties in position and everything's good to go before you actually take the weight and start going. Because once you start, there's no stopping.
pretty loud.
Yeah.
Like it's bypassing.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of flow. With one of the 2 pumps in the Snowy Hydro scheme malfunctioning, a team of technicians is racing against the clock to sort out the problem.
So I get the fun job of going inside this time.
Yeah, I reckon you can.
You sure you don't want a paper, scissors, rocket?
I'll pull right.
Righto.
I always share the internal access mostly to the new guys so that everyone gets to have a look inside. If they miss out, they might miss out for 2 years until we go in again. So yeah, it's a bit of a privilege. It doesn't happen all the time.
It's been Justin's job to check all the safety measures are in place. Now he needs to get the crane positioned to do all the heavy lifting.
Keep coming. Bring out that bag of tools up and we can start unbolting the cover. I need a couple of slings up here as well.
With everything now prepped, the team needs a safety briefing to minimise the risk. This job has 2 hazards. The first is operating in a confined space. And the second...
We're working at heights, so the safety chain, I want to see just put back on every time.
It's up to Supervisor Matt to make sure it's all systems go.
All right, I'll head up and start getting into it. If you guys can just remove these floors.
Sending out close to 13 cubic metres of water a second, this is one powerful pump. Every precaution is taken to block access, but the rigorous security procedures are slowing down the removal of the entrance hatch.
How are we looking up there, Matt?
Yeah, it's looking good up here, Bob. Ready to take this pipe off whenever you are.
Righto, I'll take these last couple out then.
Undoing the pipe securing the hatch is one thing, but moving it out of the way is another.
We ran out of room there, can't come back any further. The crane doesn't move anymore.
Bob can now go in, and he's all too aware of what's at stake if they don't get this pump fixed.
We need this water from the lake here to get put through to the Murray system so they can generate over there. They're relying on us to get this back into service this afternoon so we can start pumping, they can start generating.
You right, Buns?
Hey?
You right?
Yeah. Good.
The power pack from a multi-million-dollar army tank is slowly being manoeuvred into position for an inspection.
The uptake of that vehicle going backwards can sometimes be a little bit joddery, and that 4.5 ton power pack there, when it starts moving, there's not a lot's going to stop it.
Definitely turn it so we can face it out that way.
And also so the umbilicals are on the side.
A tarpaulin and a plastic liner need to be placed underneath to protect not only the power pack, but also the soil from potential leaks.
Who's on that corner over there? Buttons. Go that way. Just a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
You got heaps. Heaps. Just wait for it to come down.
The first thing we're going to do now is we're going to have a good look around it to make sure there's no oil leaks, fuel leaks, any broken parts, chafing and all that sort of stuff. The crew are going to jump in the hull, clean all the debris out because, you know, they go through the bushes and stuff like that. They've got leaves and what we call FOD, foreign objects, that could damage the actual power pack.
So essentially these are like a radiator, and to check if we're blocked, because obviously you can tell we're working in a very dusty environment. Best way to do it is shine a light. If you can see a light through the other side, sweet. If you can't, they're blocked and they need to be cleaned. You want to shine it this way because that's the way the airflow goes.
I can just see light. It'd probably be worth doing the clean anyway.
Every part of the power pack is given the once-over, checking for any possible problems that could cause it to run rough.
What he's checking now is he's looking for damage from FOD, which is foreign object damage. How are you looking?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's go get the run-up kit.
So essentially what the run-up kit is, all of the controls and power and fuel for the engine, you can plug in remotely so that the engine doesn't have to be in the vehicle for it to run. So it's a good way to test. We get to see all the components of the engine or the power pack running while it's not there, and gives us a better look at what's actually going on.
So all he's doing now is just making sure that all these cables that join the engine to the tank are all nice and tight and they're all going to perform. Start it up, see how we go.
Essentially what we're doing is we're hooking up what we call the tough book, and it's a diagnostic computer that we can plug into the main computer of the tank, and it lets us read all the sensors and find faults and also diagnose faults as well.
And start up in about 10 seconds.
So far, the C Squad maintenance team has found no obvious reason for the power pack problems.
Righto, start up. Clear me!
Any hope of solving this mechanical mystery lies with this. It's taken the team at RL Marine 3 hours to complete the tricky task of removing the rudder from a tug, just to get access to a problematic prop. It's suspected the 500-kilogram part is causing the vessel to vibrate, putting strain on the engine and chewing through fuel at an alarming rate of knots.
We'll take it right out just so we don't have to wrap it around and around and around. We're going to have a 30-ton puller set up. So applying 30 tonne of pressure trying to pull the propeller off. Even a propeller of this weight and size can definitely come shooting off. So we've got our lifting chains here, we tie it back. Safety precautions in order before flames and sledgehammers.
But the prop isn't budging, so it's time to turn up the heat.
Basically nearly got full weight on this propeller and it hasn't moved yet, so we're just gonna get our oxy torch onto it and just heat the boss. The heat on the boss expands the metal, which releases it off the tapers.
With the boss or central hub now expanded, the propeller should slide off its shaft.
Straight back.
And it looks like things are finally going to plan.
We're just going to get this back to the prop shop and get our technicians to put it on the scanner and scan it up and make sure everything's good.
A team of technicians will put the propeller through a series of tests, checking for alignment and pitch. But first, a build-up of barnacles needs to be removed.
After I scan it, we'll know the pitch and it'll show us the tracking, and if anything's out, if it's out of class, and we'll go from there.
The equipment is so precise, it can detect if the blades have even a millimetre deviation from their correct working specs.
It'll tell us if the props are damaged, if the props are different curves to each other, which will make it vibrate. Can't see anything so far. If anything, I thought it would be the tracking, because I can't see anywhere where it's actually bent. So I thought one of the whole blades might have been pushed up slightly or pushed down.
It's yet another test passed with flying colours. But as the mystery of the malfunctioning prop deepens, and Dan's level of frustration climbs,
you don't want to know my thoughts.
There's just one final check they can try.
We've got on balancer in the morning.
Yep.
We'll see that could be causing it.
Yeah, right. Give her a clean up and a balance and we'll go from there. There's a problem there, just got to find it.
They're relying on us to get this back into service this afternoon so we can start pumping, they can start generating.
It's been a long and involved process to prep for a repair mission inside a pump in the Snowy scheme. Technician Bob is about to enter the dark confines and doesn't relish what's ahead.
Because it's normally filled with water, everything's wet, everything's slippery. You've got to be careful. If you're not hanging on properly, you can end up sliding all the way to the bottom. So everything that you take in has to be tied off with you, and you've got to be careful of the gases and things that are in there as a confined space, because access for recovery is going to be very difficult.
Just what it is that's blocking the discharge valve is also playing on his mind.
But we haven't pulled a crocodile out of this for years, so we should be right. Time to get wet. Righto, Matt. Hook me up.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Now the gas readings all came in good. You've signed on to that. All right, you're in. I'll give you some slack when you need it.
Tight squeeze.
It is.
How's it looking in there? Wet?
Yeah, wet. I think I see our problem.
So you need that seal open to get it out, clear it? Hey Justin, you reckon you can open that seal for us? Thanks, mate. Your fingers clear, Bob?
Yeah, go for it.
Find anything in, Bob?
Yeah. Yeah, found it.
Found it? Got it clear?
Yeah.
All right. What'd you find?
Couple of sticks.
Couple of sticks, eh?
Yeah.
All right. That'll get us up and running again anyway.
It's the best case scenario for the team. No damage done, and a pump that should be fully operational in time for the power rush hour.
Righto, unhook me. We're done. To get there to the end of the tunnel and find the sticks caught in there, it's a bit of a relief actually, that you know then that you don't have to go any further. The outage could have gone for days or weeks if we had had something else caught in there that's done some serious damage, but the sticks were just enough to hold the seal off and not to cause any problem to the contact faces. It's just a process now of putting the machine back together and getting it back into service for this afternoon so we can start to get some water pumping to the Murray system so they can start producing electricity for the people when they get home and need to turn their heaters on.
Righto, start up. Clear me.
A suspected problem with a power pack is preventing an M1A1 tank from rejoining a training exercise. After no obvious fault was found on a physical check, the maintenance team is running the engine externally and using computer diagnostics to monitor its performance.
That allows us also to check to see if certain things are operating within parameters. Speed sensors, oil temp sensors, battery voltage charging, and all those sorts of things in there.
But the high-tech health check has provided no clue to the cause.
So far, everything is pretty much within the parameters.
Something as simple as leaf litter might have impacted the performance. A thorough cleaning seems to have solved the problem.
We'll pack up everything, clean the power pack up a little bit more, and then we're going to start putting the power pack back into the hull, connect everything, top deck on, run it up one more time, make sure there's nothing left loose or disconnected, and then we'll send her out.
Now it's just a matter of reversing the pull-out process to put it away again.
Oh, and easy.
He's lucky. That's not fun. Have you even ever put a hydraulic pump in if you're not doing it for an hour and a half, trying to turn the gear around over and over and over again?
Man, it's getting hot.
It's only mid-morning, but the temperature has already hit 35 degrees. The team still needs to get the power pack back in the tank before seeking some shade.
Do you want to quickly check to make sure all those lines are out of the way?
Reach it down.
Stop.
There's just one piece of the puzzle left to load, and then everything can be secured in place.
It's actually gone really well. Pretty simple, no hiccups at all. Nothing's busted. Good to go.
Before the tank can be handed back to its commander, the team needs to test everything is functioning as it should.
All right, sprint, then reverse and reverse. Speed up. All right, we're gonna do a couple of spins of the turret.
So they've tested the brakes, the steering, the gears, the acceleration, the deceleration, etc., and all the turret systems, and everything is good. So the tank is now good to go back to the front line and do whatever needs to be done.
All right, so we'll take her out now. Up, head advancing, advancing.
I spent my whole weekend sitting there thinking, geez, am I in the right game here? If I haven't got this one right, then I'm going to come out looking like a right old
A troublesome boat propeller from a tugboat had left Dan from Bhagwan Marine questioning his career choice. Until now.
The story is we've had a little bit of good news, or I consider it good news after last week. So the boys, Saturday morning, put the prop on the balancer, and we've actually found that one of the blades was heavily unbalanced.
After days of searching for the source of a mystery vibration, the team from RL Marine has finally struck gold.
They put it on a stand and they'll let the propeller go and the heaviest blade will fall to the bottom. So one blade was actually quite heavier than the rest. So when that's all trying to spin around in unison and one blade's out, that can cause a severe vibration.
Spend a fair bit of time sanding it off and then keep rotating until they got the balance properly. So I'm hoping that we found the problem. I'm almost certain that would be the problem.
The tugboat owners might be relieved they've found the issue.
There you go. Makes a man happy.
But the repair has come at a cost. Between lift fees and lost earnings, the expense to the company is so far in the vicinity of $80,000.
We thought it'd be a quick turnaround. Every day that you're sitting here and you're sitting in their travel lift, there's money that they're not making, which is then transferred back onto us. So, you know, we need to turn this one around and get it back in the water ASAP.
Very good afternoon, VDS, Laurie M. We're about to depart the travel lift at the yard. We'll be heading inbound past Bhagwan Base under the bridge and up to Hamilton Reach for some sea trials.
As the tug breaks free of its slings and begins to head home, Dan is feeling quietly confident.
Generally before, what you're hearing at this lower rev was a lot of cavitation, like a dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, which then I don't hear it anymore. This is it, mate, this is it.
But the engine still needs to be put through its paces to discover if the problem is gone for good.
We'll bump the revs up to about 850 RPM. We'll do it sort of a couple of minute increments. We'll keep climbing up the rev range. I'm going to go have a listen out the back deck and see what we hear and moment of truth. Going 1250. So our engine load percentages are back down, vibration, cavitation's down, your fuel burn's the same, engine load percentages are pairing up. Could be happier. So I'm just glad that at the end, what we thought was right, we've turned it around in a pretty quick time frame, got it back in the water today and we'll get it back to work for the next few days.